Hey, welcome to Fun and Entertainment with T. I'm your host, Tanya. Tonight we have made it back to Saturday, guys. Listen, I hope everybody's enjoyed their week so far. We have made it. We are already on January 3rd, guys. Let's give it up. Yes, we have made it to the first weekend of the month and the year. Listen, guys, we are going to talk about some fun entertainment relationship sector information for tonight. We are going to talk about dating, and we're going to talk about how can you tell, what are the top 10 signs of how can you tell if you're dating someone that possibly could be married. Okay, I did get a few of those questions in the inbox, and we're going to go over a list of things that I feel is going to help you determine if this person has a significant other that is a permanent or a serious relationship. Okay, also, guys, we're going to listen in on Dr. Aldewan Tart. He is a person that I look at a lot as far as relationships. He is married and he has some very good advice for men and women, I think. And I'd like his outtake on a lot of things. And we're going to look at that about the end of the show as far as what they see as a problem. Why is it that a lot of men are not pursuing women like they used to, or what are some of the causes as far as the downside of relationships? People are saying not as many people are getting married, not as many people are dating like they used to. So we're going to listen in on that segment at the end of the show. All right. But yes, guys, we are going to go ahead and get started. And we're going to talk about again, what are the top 10 signs that you could be possibly dating someone that's already taken, that's already in a committed, serious relationship or marriage. All right. All right. So the first sign is he would give you the first name, but he's not going to give you his last name. Okay. So you know him by first name basis, right? He knows your first and last name, but you don't know his last name, or vice versa, right? Reason being is because he doesn't want you to figure out a lot of information. A lot of things now is public record. If you go online, you can pretty much find out a lot of stuff about people, okay, whether they voluntarily give it to you or not. If you got a person's first and last name and you know kind of where they live and things like that, guess what? You can look up records, you can look up marriage license, and if they have a family and where they live and where they work and all that stuff, right? So that's what I say. He's not going to give you, or she's not going to give you, if it's a wife, their last name. Okay, they'll give you the first, but not the last. All right. So look for stuff like that. If you've been dating for a little while and you still don't know the person's last name, that might be a good indication. Okay. Number 2, their personal life is secretive. Again, they don't want to disclose but so much. They know a lot about you, but you don't know much about them, And if you start asking questions about their life, they get very, very defensive, okay? Number 1, if let's say you're asking them a question, let's say you're getting to know them, okay? And you ask them a simple question. Are you single? Are you married? And they answer a question as, well, it's complicated. That's not good, okay? That just means that they're still married, okay? Because if it was a boyfriend and girlfriend situation, or they're just, kind of playing the field, guess what? They can easily break up with a boyfriend and girlfriend, okay? But if they say it's complicated, a lot of times that usually means that either they want out and the spouse does not, okay? Or there's a lot of legal things that's going on between them two. Maybe they're in the middle of getting divorced, separation and divorce, and because of the time frame that it takes to get a divorce, like I think you got to be separated for at least a year before you can finally file for divorce, right? So when you ask and they say, well, it's kind of complicated, that's not good. So just know They're not all the way ready, okay? And sometimes that does happen. They're trying to come out of it, but they're just not all the way fully out of that relationship as of yet. Okay. Number three. Let's get on with number three, guys. Are y'all liking it so far? All right. Good, good, good. So number three, they saved your phone number under the opposite sex name, on an opposite sex name. So let's say I was dating, and let's say the guy that I'm dating, he saves my phone number under a man's name, okay? Or vice versa. Let's say it's the wife and the guy saves her, or she saves his number under a woman's name. Reason being is because if she lays her phone down, or if I lay my phone down, or if he lays his phone down, and let's say they're married, okay, and let's say they're at the house, but they're dating someone, okay, and that person calls, guess what? It's going to ring the opposite sex, okay? They're not going to think anything of it because they're thinking like, oh, who's Bob? And this is a guy that I'm calling, okay? The wife is going to think it's another guy, okay? So that's what I'm saying. Look for things like that. Call the number. See if your number is coming up as your name, which it should. But if you notice it comes up under an odd name, or it comes up under a male's name, right? Then you know they're hiding something. Then you know for a fact, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that they have a significant other, and that's their way to disguise it. Okay, they don't want that to be found out. Okay, so yeah, call that number. See if you so happen to see the phone, see what number comes, or what name comes up under that. Is it a nickname that comes up? Is it your name that comes up? Is it if it's a man, you're dating a man, and a man's name come up, then you know he's definitely trying to hide him dating someone. Okay, and vice versa. If it's a woman, same thing. The guy's dating, she don't want her husband to figure out it's a man, so she's gonna program your number as a woman's name. Melissa or whoever, right? So look for things like that. All right. Number 4. He's got your number, but you don't have his. Okay. He wants total control in this scenario. He doesn't want you to have access to his number because he's afraid that if you call, the wife is going to find out, So again, it's one-sided. He's got more information on you than you do on him. Okay, always look for things like that. It should be we exchange numbers. We both have each other's number. I should know your first name and last name. You should know my first name and last name, right? No hiding behind the different names, nicknames, and all of that stuff. Okay, yeah. So I think that's very important, especially in the beginning stages when you're trying to get to know someone, because if you're starting out with deceit, if you're starting out with lies right off the bat, that's not good. Okay, it just sets up your relationship for failure because you're already hiding the most important things about yourself in the beginning. That's why I say it's very important to just be honest. Just tell who you are. If you're married, you're married. If you're not, you're not. Okay. If you're single, you're single. Okay. All right. Number 5. Let's get on with it. They don't want to be in public with you. Okay. Everything is in private. Okay. They'll meet you out maybe in a little coffee shop or somewhere where a lot of people don't go, okay? And if they take you out, it's going to be on odd times, a Monday night, a Tuesday night, a Wednesday night, if it's dinner. Now, on the heavy nights, like Friday night and Saturday night, when most people hang out, they may take you out, but it's not going to be for dinner. It's going to be for a breakfast or a lunch or a quick lunch, okay? Things like that, you know. Oh, well, I can only meet you for breakfast. You know, we can get a little coffee on Friday morning. I can meet you on Friday morning or Saturday morning. You know why? Because they have to take their spouse out. Usually, when Friday night and Saturday night come out, that's date night for most couples, okay? So they're not going to take you out. Now, they'll take you out on a, like I said, an off day, like a Tuesday or a Monday or, you know, day where there's not a lot of people. And even then, they're going to be very, very careful. Okay, they're not going to be in the same city. If you see that they're taking you off far off, you know, to another town that's 40, 50 miles away, and there's plenty of restaurants right there in the city where you are, then, you know, that could be a sign, right? Um, he sets the date a lot of times because he knows where his spouse is going to be. So he's going to always pick the restaurant. And there's nothing wrong with him picking a restaurant, but you should have a say sometime as far as where you would like to go. Okay? Things like that. You know, if it's always up to him, then okay, nothing wrong with that. You know, that's a good thing to a degree. But if he's dictating everything and you never have a say of, you know, well, I think let's go here this time, or, you know, and it's always what he wants to do, you may have to take a step back on that. All right. So that's just something to think about, you know, not every case, but in certain cases where he wants total control like that, yeah, you might want to like investigate that as soon as you possibly can, okay? You know my motto when I say things like that, and that's because it's not a mutual thing. You know, there should be times where he picks, and then there should be times where you select, okay? All right, number 6. It's hard to get up with them, okay? You know why? They have a hectic schedule. They have a hectic schedule during the day, but their day doesn't stop if they're married. You know, they got to come home, they got family, and if they have kids, they really got a lot to take care of. So their time is not as open than someone who is just strictly single, okay? And if they're married, they got a certain timeline they need to be back, okay? They're not going to be staying out till like in the evening with you, okay? They're going to cut it short. You know, they'll take you out maybe around lunch or something like that. And if it's in the afternoon, they got to be gone by at least 7, okay? I got to get back home. There's some things I got to take care of and this and that and this and that. No, they got a date night with whoever they're with, okay? So just take in mind, look at the time frame that you're going out. Look at the days that you're going out. Are they only taking you out on specific days only? And times where it's not really that busy and nobody really goes to these type of restaurants, things like that. Or they're taking you out. Let's say they are taking you out in a busy restaurant. Are they being very, very on edge? And that's another thing. You have to look at their body language. Look at their eye contact when you're sitting at the table with them in the restaurant. Are they looking over your head a lot? Are they scanning the room a lot? Are they constantly looking at the door a lot? You know, or are they relaxed? Are they looking at the menu and they're just ordering just like you, not caring who's in the restaurant, not caring who's going in? And that's another thing. Look at their positioning in the restaurant. Are they always facing the door? You know, I would always test to see at the table, where do you want to sit? And see if they can sit with their back turned towards the door, then you really know they ain't got really much to hide, okay? But if they insist, say, no, I really would like to sit here. Okay, that's fine, you know, no big deal. But again, watch their eye contact. Watch to see, are they scanning the room? Are they constantly looking over you to see who's coming in? The reason why they're doing that is because they're trying to gauge is there somebody in that restaurant that's going to spot them? The spouse, it could be a friend, it could be somebody that they grew up with. You never know. It could be a next door neighbor, anybody. The main thing is they do not want to be spotted. Period. It don't matter if it's a friend. It don't matter if it's a family member, or of course their spouse. They don't want to be caught with their spouse. So they're always going to be on edge. They're not going to be as relaxed at the table. A lot of times you'll find them looking at the menu. And if they do spot somebody in the restaurant, and that's another thing you got to look at, how do their demeanor change? Okay. Are they still relaxed? Or do you see the menu going up above their face a lot? That's a sign that they're trying to hide. Are they excusing themselves from the table? That's a sign too. I'll be right back. I just got to take care of a few things and this and that and this and that and this and that. And you're supposed to be having dinner, right? So again, look at the body language. That's very, very important. All right, number 7. They don't introduce you to his family. Okay? Let's say you've been dating for a while and you want to kind of progress things. But you notice he's talked about having kids and things like that, but he has children, but he doesn't want to introduce you yet. Okay. That's not good. Okay, especially after a certain period of time. So, again, you don't want to be introduced, or he does not kind of want to introduce you, or vice versa, to the family. Okay, his siblings, his mom, his dad, or whoever, Look for things like that. If they're very secretive with their family as well, more than likely he is still married. Okay? Let's see. Number 8. When you're going out, more likely he's not going to pick you up and he's not dropping you off anywhere. He's always going to tell you to meet him at the restaurant. All right. He's going to give you a time frame and he's going to be there first, okay, to check out the place, to scan in. So he'll say, meet me at 7:30 at such and such, right? And he's going to get there about 7:15. You know why? Because he's got to make sure that nobody in that restaurant is there that's going to see him. And if there is, he's going to change plans. He's going to change to another restaurant or change to another location. Okay. And number 9. Let's get on with it, guys. Let's get on with it. Number 9. They get very fidgety about their phone. Okay. They don't want you to see their phone. They don't want you to have access to it. And guess what? Everybody has to have privacy, okay? Including you. You have to have privacy as well. However, if you are dating, and let's say this person is very, very adamant about, no, I got to have 2 or 3 phones. One is for business, one is for personal, and one is just for whatever. If he's got a lot of phones, that's very possible. There's nothing wrong having more than one phone. But again, what could you be hiding? You know what I'm saying? Because especially if your stuff is out in the open anyway. If your stuff is public, is open to the public, then and he's hiding things from you, more than likely they could be married, right? And number 10, the last thing for tonight, guys. Are y'all liking this? Okay. Good. All right. So number 10 is he excuses himself when he gets a phone call at the table. Okay. Now, this is tricky. If it's business related, a lot of times they will sit there and take the phone call. A lot of times because you're just talking, you may step away for a little bit, depending on what it is. Okay. However, if it's a spouse that's calling, they're going to be very nice. They're going to say things like, I'm sorry, I just got to take this. I'll be right back. They'll step away, and guess what you're going to hear? What? When you hear that type of, agitation, I told you I'm going to, look, this is not a good time. Da, 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 da. If you hear that kind of conversation, okay, they are taken, okay? If it's a boss man, he's not going to say that. If it's a company calling him and that's his job, he's going to be like, yes, sir. Okay, no problem. Sure. Okay. Got it. Sure. Uh-huh. All right. Great. Okay. No problem. I'll see you then. Okay. Bye-bye. That's a business call. But if you hear things like, what? I told you I'm going to, okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Fine. Okay. I know I said that last week. I know. Look, I can't talk right now. I gotta go. Okay? Just give me a few hours. I'll be home. Okay? When you hear things like that, agitation, he's taken, honey. Okay, this is not a girlfriend. This is a wife calling him, asking him, where is he? Why you're not home? Things like that. Okay? Listen to the type of conversation. If he's close, now he may step all the way away. He may go to the bathroom. He may go outside somewhere to take the call. And that's another thing. You're on a date. All right. If it's a pressing issue, fine. If it's an emergency, that's totally fine. But if it's just business, yeah, you'll take the phone call. Okay. And you're going to take it. Normally, you just sit right there and take it. I mean, I'm not getting up for just because my boss is calling. Hello? Oh, okay. Monday? Yeah, okay. All right, I'll see y'all Monday. All right, bye-bye. That's a phone call. That's business. Okay. Like I said, listen on how he's answering or how she's answering. If she's agitated and annoyed, they got a spouse. Okay, so... All right, guys, so let's listen in on this segment with Dr. Aldewan Tart, excuse me. And they're going to talk about why men these days are having a hard time with the dating arena. I'm going to chime in after this video, and I'll let you know how I feel about this after it's over.
One thing for sure, two things for certain. You know how to talk about some relationships.
I've met a lot of men who want to be in relationships who bring up, been surprised, they don't like women.
I think that's a lot of men out here that don't like women.
There are a lot of women who get into relationships because they're looking to please. If I make you happy, then you're going to want me. And that's how you get in relationships with narcissists, because you've been trained to please.
I mean, how do we correct it? I mean, we're looking in a day and age where women are earning more money, so they're not even finding that they want to be married because they're like, look, I can provide for myself. I don't need you to get me no credit card, no bank account, and get me a house. I can do this all on my own. What are you seeing in your practice?
So marriage does take about 8 to 10 years off of married women, right? So the marital benefit is for men.
No, wait. You said it takes 8 to 10 years off of a woman's life.
Yes. So anyone watching this and knows me, they'll say, but Doc.
One of your most popular videos that you talk about is that in the first year of marriage, most marriages that end in the first year is due to sexual incompatibility.
That's true. We have very old school mindsets when it comes to marriage and dating, that the man is the provider. But if we look at society, men are not in college.
I mean, I want you to dive into this because so much of what we're bringing to the table in relationships stem from the mother and the father wound.
For sure.
How do the mother wound for men show up, and how does the father wound for women show up?
I don't know if I've met too many men who were toxic that did not have dysfunctional relationships with their mom.
Welcome to Bought and Powers Talks, where we don't just scratch the surface, we dive deep into the lives of the world's most influential change makers. I'm your host, Brandy Harvey. Now today, we got the good minister here, the good psychologist here, and a friend. Dr. Alduan Tart is a celebrated Christian psychologist, ordained minister, author, and media expert whose work resides at the intersection of faith, mental health, and relational excellence. He holds a PhD in clinical psychology from the University of Michigan, where he became the youngest African-American recipient of that doctorate. Based in Decatur, Georgia, Dr. Tart practices results-oriented therapy through his firm, Visionary Minds Incorporated, helping individuals, couples, and families reclaim purpose, connection, and peace. Together with his wife, Mecca Moore Tart, the couple have created a Weekend for Love, a luxury marriage retreat designed for couples to reignite passion, deepen their connection, and build a lasting legacy. Dr. Tart also serves as a go-to psychology expert for major media platforms such as The Today Show, CNN, HLN, and BET, just to name a few. Dr. Tart believes behind every successful relationship are effective boundaries. Bought and Powers Talks welcome husband, father, author, minister, and faith-based psychologist, Dr. Alduan Tart, to the show.
I'm excited. Thank you. That sounds good.
Dr. Tart, so good for you to join me.
I'm not used to you calling me Dr. Tart. That's
I know,
fine,
I'd be like,
right?
hey, Alduan.
Right. It's all good. I'm excited. This is an important conversation.
I have known you for I don't even know how many years. I've known you through your wife, Mecca. She and I have been friends since I want to say like 2009, probably. I was a part of your wedding, all the things at the baby shower. My nephew and Trinity went to school together. So we go way back.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
But one thing for sure, two things for certain. You know how to talk about some relationships. Yeah.
It's my passion. I've been doing it over 30 years. So I get behind the scenes intel that a lot of people don't. People go deep. So I'm able to see what works and what doesn't work. And just be honest, especially when it comes to like Black folks, we need a lot of help.
We do.
I'm excited to be here.
I mean, we're not getting married at the rates of our white counterparts. I know that much for sure, right?
It's pretty sad. So Dr. George Fraser said the rates in the next 5 to 10 years might be in the teens. So with our grandparents, it was at 80%. Now we're about 35, 40%, and we're trending in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
So where we start looking at marriage is going to be something that most people don't do unless we correct it.
Yeah.
Which is my mission.
I mean, how do we correct it? I mean, we're looking in a day and age where women are earning more money, so they're not even finding that they want to be married because they're like, look, I can provide for myself. I don't need you to get me no credit card, no bank account, and get me a house. I can do this all on my own. What are you seeing in your practice?
That's one of the issues, is that we have very old school mindsets when it comes to marriage and dating, that the man is the provider. But if we look at society, men are not in college. All right, my daughter's at Howard. When I was walking around campus, it was like 10, 11 to 1, right? Male to female. And some of the men weren't heterosexual. So so we start looking at college being a launching pad, and you know, Black women do. They go out and get an advanced degree. And then they go become an influencer. Then they do a podcast. Then they start flipping homes because of that sisterhood, right? So they're continuing to level up. Whereas men tend to have now less education, right? The factory is not really a thing where men go and earn all this money. And then men are lone wolves. They're not doing the same thing as a sisterhood, bringing their sisters along in this money journey. So you put that in a modern day marriage where the woman is out earning or equally earning for the man, and we still have the woman wanting to do chores. We still have I make the final decisions. We still have the man wanting to be provider, but he's not. So there's that. So the couples who've succeeded, have just thrown those rules away and said, let's deal with our marriage based on what's really coming in this house and the gender roles that we both want to play.
Yeah. You said in one of in your videos, because you create so much content around relationships, around dating, one of your books is the ring formula. I think I even did a course, child, when I was trying to get me a ring, child. I told him before we started, I said, I don't think that's my mission no more, Doc. Listen.
So we're going to see. We're going to see.
We're gonna see.
Right.
But one of those things that you talk about is that men want things that they aren't asking for. And what is the thing that men really want in relationships that they're afraid to ask for?
HELP.
Help.
All right. So here's what's happening. Single men are looking at the married man across the street, and they're watching that married man level up. They're watching Thanksgiving, cars pull up to his house because of the combined family Thanksgiving. They're looking at the dog, the picket fence, the dad taking the son to soccer, to basketball. They're looking at them, especially if we're talking about high income earners, flipping houses, buying restaurants, buying laundromats, right? 2 is better than 1, for they get better return for their labor. And they're watching him level up while they stay the same. While women are coming in and out of his life, they admire the LeBron James. They admire, you want me to keep it Atlanta, Gucci Man. Made a mistake, even had some mental health projects, but went back and leveled up even more once he improved with Keisha. They look at Jay-Z. So they look at Obama, right? They're looking Steph Curry. And these men who are married to really talented women and figuring this thing out have an advantage over me. And they secretly want that type of woman for themselves, but they can't say it. Except to other married men. So amongst men, they'll say, I don't want to get married, right? So what if you could find a good one? Oh, yeah. But it's no good ones, right? But they do want great women because married men are happier, healthier, and wealthier. You marry, especially talking about a talented sister, she's going to level you up.
Yeah.
She's going to level you up.
But then, Doc, the conversation switches when we talk about women in marriage because the stats aren't the same for women, right?
To a degree. To a degree.
Scratch your head, Doc.
To a degree, all right? So men who adapt, all right? So marriage does take about 8 to 10 years off of married women, right? So the marital benefit is for men.
No, wait. You said it takes 8 to 10 years off of a woman's life.
Yes. So anyone watching this and knows me, they'll say, but Doc, what about the benefit for wives? I'd rather be single than a wife because it seems like these wives are losing about a decade, all right, in dysfunctional relationships or in relationships where the wife is saying, this is too much. I'm bringing home the bacon. I'm having to take care of the kids. I might even be taking care of a blended family, taking care of our aging family, still doing the PTA, still working out, still helping you out, still dealing with your stuff, right? This is harder than my single girlfriend who just has to manage herself and not deal with all of the issues. So what happens is that men realize, so the marriages that are working, they realize this is not my dad or my grandfather's marriage. We're going to adjust the marriage according to the skill so that we're both mutually satisfied. See, when the wife feels like this marriage is harder for me than for you, you're going to work, you're watching football, you're doing whatever you want to do while I'm cooking, cleaning, doing chores, taking the kids here, doing homework. No, that doesn't work when we had the same job.
Yeah.
We work in the same hours. So couples actually adjust. Mecca and I have adjusted.
Yeah, because at one point, Mecca was home with the babies, and then she recently, over the last 2 years, went back into sales.
And I love it too, boy. My health insurance is amazing. Right? I told her, every time I said, Doc, I say, thank you, Mecca, I love you, right? Because I was bankrolling the whole family on Entrepreneur, you know, that marketplace.
And that becomes a very
that marketplace insurance, poo-poo, right? I'm here to say it, poo-poo, right? I was this Anthem Gold gonna be great. And they're like $1,500. What's the point of having it? It's a deductible, all right? And so now I go, $40. I can pick any doctor I want, right? They sent me a little slip the other day. If you have surgery, you can pick the surgeon.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? I said, girl, I love you, right? Anything you need to be number one in sales, I'll take care of it, right? I love it. I love it. You laughing? I'm dead serious.
Well, because
I call her boss. I said she could be doing more. She could. I see her on her phone too much. You can get more out of her. I want to make sure she's good.
You need another call.
Right.
Let me
We
help
can
you.
get about $10,000
Yeah.
if you get off Instagram.
I mean, it's
You know what? This is good. I love to see this type of conversation, especially between black men and black women. And he hit some good things on the head as far as marriage today is not like it used to be. It's not, you have to do what works for today based on who you're with, right? Back in the day, more people got married. The man pretty much was the provider. Women did work a little bit, but it's not now. Women are outpacing the men and making more than men. And so that need for him to be the provider is not quite there that it used to be. And like he said, they're watching other men that are married level up, wondering, okay, how can I get this? It's because number one, they're working as a team, and they're trying to, have a healthy relationship based on what's coming in that household, right? Everybody's household is going to be different depending on, what you're doing for a living, how you was raised and all that good stuff. So I think this is very, very interesting. His name is Dr. Aldewan Tart. I've looked at him throughout, last year and the year before, and he's got some good stuff. If you want to really look at his page, I enjoyed listening to him talk. He's very, very good. All right. But yes, guys, I just wanted to kind of go ahead and give a brief segment for tonight. Y'all doing good? All right. All right. Well, I will be back, guys, on Monday. We're going to get back into the Sports and Politics with T channel. And we're going to go back to Wednesday. We're going to add another show with fun and entertainment with T. We're going to do a part 2 to this segment right here, talking about men and women in relationships and what are the issues. And we'll do a part 2 on this particular show, okay, on Wednesday. All right. All right, guys. Well, if you enjoyed the content, please hit like, share, and subscribe. And also, if you can, please hit the notification bell. That way you won't miss any episodes every time I come on to YouTube. I will be back on Monday at 8 p.m. with Sports and Politics with T. And I will see everybody on Monday night at 8 p.m. Everybody enjoy the rest of your night, and I will see you Monday at 8. Take care. Bye-bye.